Okay guys, so welcome to Excelsior Academy. In today's section, we are going to discuss all the question MCQs which were taken in the Telegram. Okay. So what was our first question? So if suppose beetroot is kept in cold water, anthocyanin does not come due to the membrane due to the plasma membrane what? So how many of you got the correct answer? This was very simple. Yes, anyone who got the correct answer over here? So the options are differentially permeable, impermeable to anthocyanins, permeable to anthocyanins, and or the cells are dead. Okay, Bhavika, you got the correct answer. So what is the answer? Here the answer is
Impermeable to anthocyanins.
yes, very good. Can you tell me what is the reason why it is impermeable to anthocyanin?
Because anthocyanin does not come off plasma membrane, it means that it is impermeable to anthocyanins. That's why anthocyanins are not out of
You're just
plasma membrane.
repeating the same sentence. Why it is impermeable to anthocyanin? It is because of its structure. So you have to remember its structure. Now I'll just draw the structure over here and you have to tell why it was impermeable to anthocyanin. Okay. So the structure looks like this. Now, from the structure, this is anthocyanin structure. So from the structure, what do you understand?
OH cannot pass through the membrane.
Very
OH.
good. Very good. So why? So what that OH is playing a role? See, in the yesterday's class also I have mentioned if it is a charge molecule and has
Binds with
bond,
water.
yes, it cannot cross through the membrane. So it has got OH moiety everywhere. It has got sugar also. Plus it got the charge. So because of all this, your anthocyanin is actually hydrophilic in nature. Okay. And that's why it becomes impermeable to membrane. So it cannot pass through. So yes, the correct answer is impermeable to anthocyanin. Very good. Now next question. Okay, which intermolecular process primarily drives the formation of a bilayer when the phospholipids are added to water? This is quite tricky, right? Because the options are given as such a big sentence. So people might get confused also. So what is the answer over here? Options are lipid cause water to arrange in an ordered unfavorable cage-like structure, which forces lipids into bilayer, which reducing the effect. Phospholipids self-assemble into a bilayer due to strong affinity for each other. This is not true, right? We know that. So suppose you're not sure about your answer, then you can start ruling out the options. So this is not. This we know that it actually forms an ordered structure, right? It's like a cage-like structure. So this becomes like a cage-like structure. Now, the ordered arrangement of bilayer is preferable than the, this is also not true. It is not preferable. Then the bilayer arrangement maximizes the strength of van der Waals forces between the phospholipid. There is nothing about the van der Waals. So here the answer becomes that lipid cause water to arrange in an ordered favorable condition like structure. So this reduces the effect. So we know when you put the same concept, when you put the oil in the water, what happens? It takes the circular, right? Now what happens if you put water into the oil? So it's same phenomena that forms a cage-like structure. Okay. So here the answer is A. Moving on to the next. Now, lipid molecule in plasma membrane are arranged in dash. This is the most simplest question ever. So what is the answer for this? Anyone? Pallavi, Sandhya? Who all got the correct answer here? Yes, it is
Head parallel.
head parallel. Very good. So this is like nothing. So we know that all the lipid molecules in the plasma membrane are like this. So they are parallel to each other. So the answer is head pallor. Very good. So sometimes you get good questions, like very easy, very direct, and sometimes you just have to think a little bit. Okay. Now, which of the following does not require carrier molecules during the transport through the cell membranes? Already discussed yesterday. So answer is, what is the answer over here?
Simple diffusion.
Simple
A.
diffusion.
Simple
Simple
diffusion.
diffusion.
Very good. Because first of all, I haven't taught this. Okay. And in the case of facilitated diffusion, already facilitated means that you're going to the help of something. So in the case of diffusion, help is nothing but your carrier proteins. So this is also not the answer. So which does not require anything is ATP, does not require protein, is your simple diffusion. Okay. Next. Which one of the following is present outside the plasma membrane but inside the cell wall? I guess this was little difficult because it wasn't mentioned in the
Yes,
class.
ma'am.
Yeah, nobody got the answer. Did you try getting
No,
the
ma'am.
answer? So this is something actually, I will show you the figure over here. One sec. Yeah. So see the figure over here. So this is mainly seen in the case of fungal or the plant cells. Okay. There only you can see the cell wall also. So in this case, what happens is, this is the example of a fungus, and you can see the cell wall over here, and then the cytoplasm. So everything is there. In this case, you see the lomazome. So here the answer is lomazome. Okay. So all the spirosome, peroxisome, and Golgi bodies, they are present inside in the cytoplasm. Only lomazome is present outside the plasma membrane but inside of the cell wall. Okay, so you can see over here the lomosomes are present. Now what if you ask me what is the function of this? This is nothing but they actually see when a fungus is there and it tries to spread its infection or like releasing the spores into the environment, that time these lomosomes are helping in the spread. Okay, so you know that in the case of fungal the spread is with the help of the spores. So whenever any kind of infection is there, or they try to, they try to make interaction with the host cell wall. So they try to make all these connections with the help of the lomosomes. You can see over here, this is the self of the fungus, and then host cell wall is there. So these interactions they are making with the host. And during these interactions, there is a formation of lomosome. Okay, so I think this was different question, which was not taken. So this is how we are going to do also. So whatever question I get, I'm going to keep in front of you. So like this, suppose by chance we are missing some of the points during the lectures. Okay. So these missed topics can be covered. So now additional information you got, what are lomosomes? Okay. So the answer is lomosome. Now next, which one enzyme of plasma membrane gets inactivated in the absence of lipids? So who all got the correct answer for this? So if you know the function of these enzymes, then you know the answers. So anyone who got the correct answer over here? Yes? Yes, Bhavika. The correct answer is ATPase. Very good. Now I'll explain who didn't get the answer for those. So if you see, alkaline phosphatase, acid phosphomonoesterase and RNAs, they all are your cytoplasmic enzymes. Now when I say cytoplasmic, what does it mean? In the cell, in the cytoplasm, these enzymes are present. Okay, they are freely present in the cytoplasm. Now whereas in the case of ATPase, ATPase is actually your membrane bound. Okay, so your ATPase is present something like this. It has got the structure over here, and remember it is in a transmembrane protein. So it's a transmembrane protein which results in the formation of ATP. So we'll study in detail once we start biochemistry, ATP synthesis. Okay, so you have got two, in the case of ATPase, it is made up of two subunits. So let's have additional knowledge over here. Those are called F0 and F1 particle. Okay. I'll write it again. So there are two subunits of ATPase called F0 or F1. Few people say F0 also and F1 particle. Now, one more additional point over here, that 0 represents for oligomycin. Okay, it's actually O. So oligomycin is what? It is an antibiotic which can inhibit the activity of anti-ATPases. So that means it is stopping the production of ATP. To inhibit ATP synthesis, oligomycin is the antibiotic. Okay, it's an inhibitor. So please remember, these are like additional information. Okay, it's an inhibitor, and that's why it is F0. So two subunits are there of ATPase. It's a transmembrane protein. So now when you know it is a transmembrane protein, obviously if there are no lipids, so you have got your protein over here, right? So something like this it looks. So if you don't have lipids, no lipids means no ATPase activity. So the answer is ATPase. Now, in addition to the ATPase concept, it is having two subunits, F0 and F1 particle. Now, F0 stands for, O stands for oligomycin, which is an inhibitor. Okay. One second. Okay, so let's continue to the next question. Now, which one statement regarding plasma membrane is correct? Okay, this was something, oh God. 1 second, dear, 1 second. Yes. So which one statement regarding plasma membrane is correct? Who all got the correct answer? So did you understand what does it mean having the electron dense and electron transparent region? Yeah. See, I'll explain first. So if you have a plasma membrane, okay. Now, wherever you had your polar groups, or wherever the proteins were present, that region becomes your electron dense. Now, wherever your fatty acid tail are present, because all the electrons are satisfied there, correct? So what will happen? It becomes transparent. So if you read the question, you will see that it is the outer inner layer of the plasma membrane which are electron dense, while the middle layer is transparent. Okay. And if you remember the very first lecture of plasma membrane when I took, I showed an electron micrograph picture also, wherein which you can see the outer region and the inner region. So these two were actually highly electron dense. It was shown as electron dense, whereas the middle portion was shown as, this portion was shown as little bit light in color. So that becomes your transparent. Okay. So these two, outer and inner, were your electron dense region. So from the figure also you can remember and you can give the answer. So here the first, here the answer is outer inner are electron dense, whereas the middle portion is the transparent one. Good, Bhavika, you got the correct answer. Now moving to the next. Now, one of the fundamental characteristics of cell membrane is, yes, anyone who got the answer for this, even though this was not mentioned in the class, but it was very obvious the answer. So anyone who can tell me?
Ion regulation.
Yes, very good, both of you. So now how, even if you don't know the answer, how you're supposed to do, come to the conclusion that ion regulation is the answer? See, all the regulation, if you see amino acid, fat and glucose, whatever knowledge right now we have, we also know that all this thing happens in the cytoplasm of the cell. Let it be amino acid degradation or synthesis, fat metabolism or glucose metabolism, everything happens in the cytoplasm. Now, when they're talking about the cell membrane, I have mentioned that there are the channels on the plasma membrane. So there are the channels which help in the passage of the ions. Okay, so now here the answer becomes the ion regulations, because it is the plasma membrane which is actually regulating the, allowing the movement of ions from one portion to the other. Okay, very good. It seems my teaching is helping. Good. Okay. Which statement best describes how cholesterol affects cell membrane fluidity? So I hope everyone got this answer because many a times we have
Yes,
discussed this thing.
ma'am.
Yes. So what is the
Yes,
answer?
ma'am.
So what's the answer? Sandhya said D. Very good. So I have always said cholesterol decreases fluidity at high temperature, increases fluidity at low temperature. Simple
Low
mantra,
temperature.
just remember every time. So the answer is D. Very good. So if you see the options, it's quite confusing, right? It seems as if same options have been repeated, but no, if you see it carefully, only one word is getting changed: decrease, increase, increase, decrease. So that's where it becomes tricky. Yes, I guess this none of you knew, right? So any guesses? Still any guesses? So this has been not taught because it wasn't there in the syllabus, but I found this question interesting. So when we studied about the plasma membrane model, okay. So when the plasma membrane model was established, many people came forward describing and telling their own hypothesis. So one said that it is having only the single membrane. Few said that it is only lipid and then the second layer of protein. Okay, so such kind of people were giving the answers. So there this another person came who said about the lipid pillar model. So saying that the lipids is actually present in the pillar side. They're present only like the pillar holding the plasma membrane. Like suppose you have such plasma membrane, then you cannot have active transport happening. Okay, because if you see, we need proteins to carry out our function. But if you have only pillar like of lipids, then the active transport is not possible. So here the answer is active transport. Yes, Bhavika, yes, the correct answer is B, active transport. Okay, then membrane protein. This is also the very simple question. Membrane protein works as recipient of informal molecules. I have mentioned, correct, that on the membrane, when you have got proteins either in the integral form or in the peripheral, they are always responsible for the cell signaling. So here this option is correct. They works as recipient of transportation. Yes, they are the carrier proteins which helps in the movement of the molecules. They help in cell recognition. Yes, because whenever any receptors are there, they bind to the other ligands or the molecules from the external source and carry out the cell recognition. So it means what? The answer is D, does all the above works. Okay. So this is the answer. Now, last question. So compared to a typical animal cell, the cell membranes on the paw of the polar bear would most likely have increased concentration of which macromolecule? So this is also the very simple question. This also we have discussed. So what happens when a cell is moved from normal to cold conditions or high temperature? So we know that polar bear, they live in the ice cold conditions. So what kind of cell membrane chemical cell membrane lipid composition they will have? So what should be the answer over here? Just remember that lecture when I said from normal, if it goes at the low temperature, what kind of fatty acid or phospholipids gets increased and what kind increase in the case of high temperature?
Saturated at lower temperature.
No, no. It's the other way around, right? See, low temperature means more rigid structure. I don't want my cells to become rigid. So I'll have more of unsaturated. Just the opposite. So at low
Yeah.
temperature,
Unsaturated.
I'll have increase of unsaturated fatty acids. Okay. Whereas at high temperature, I don't want it to be more of fluid like. So there I
Yes,
need
ma'am.
saturated. Otherwise,
Saturated. Yes.
otherwise the cell will start leaking, right? So here the answer is unsaturated phospholipids. So now it's clear all the questions, what all we have discussed till now. Yes. So it was worth, right? Yeah, good. Thank you.